All right, I think I am live. This is my first time going live on YouTube, so bear with me. There's probably not going to be anyone on here because, like I said, this is my first time. So we're on my laptop. If anybody is here while we are watching, or if this is on the replay, if you could let me know how the video quality and the audio is, that would be a huge help. Because I won't know until I get off of here. But I am painting a desk, and this is actually the back of a desk. I'm using Dixie Belle Paint Company chalk mineral paint, and it looks like a hot mess right now, I know, but I actually slathered a bunch of paint on here with a palette knife and gave it a bunch of texture because I'm going for an old world style look. And so I'm going to actually be layering on top of this. So it's going to be covering this up, but this just gave me a cross hatching of layers and texture. And I will let you guys know the colors that I am using as I use them. Okay, I got paint all over me. We don't got any paper towels, so I'm just gonna wipe it off on my other hand and we'll make a mess. So I like to use the Dixie Belle synthetic brushes. Now, right now, these have been sold out for a while, and they pop in stock every now and then, but they're a little bit hard to get your hands on currently. They're just a really soft, smooth, synthetic style brush, and you can get away with using cheaper brushes for sure, especially for this paint style, but this is just what I have on hand. I'm going to start out with Dixie Belle Mint Julep. So this is a really light green, and you can actually see that's the green that I used here. So I'm going to start out with that. I do have just water in a spray bottle. I can spray my piece, but I am just going to lightly mist my brush. I'm going to get a good amount of paint. So this is a lot more paint than I typically use, and that's because this paint finish, Now I'm going to switch to Dixie Belle's Vintage Duck Egg, which is a vintage duck egg color. And I am going to brush this into the Mint Julep. And just like so. And because both of these are wet, they are blending pretty well. Now this color will darken as it dries. So right now it looks pretty light, but it will darken up. This is a desk that I am painting all sides of. The interior, the back, the sides, the front, the top. Everything is getting covered, and that is because with this desk, the back was already finished. So as you can see, it's all trimmed out. It is finished with like nice pieces of wood. It's not like the MDF boards. So that tells me that this piece is a piece that is likely to be able to be in the middle of a room. So like maybe an office desk, or I don't know, I guess just an office desk is all I can really think of. But sometimes you put those in the middle of a room, and then you have like a bigger desk area behind you, or you have chairs in the room, whatever it may be. But this gives it the option to actually be able to be featured in the middle of a room instead of up against a wall. So I'm still not seeing if there's any comments. I think it says that I have 3 viewers, which is a little bit exciting because I didn't think that anybody was going to be here. But all right, so we have Mint Julep, Vintage Duck Egg, and then I am going to take a little bit of Dixie Belle Sea Glass, which is a really light minty green. And I'm using just the same brush for all of this. And I'm just going to kind of streak some of this in, and then just brush it to blend it a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to get a lot of layers over it, but I'm just beginning to create the dimension on this piece. Hey, Patricia. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I didn't know how this was going to work. If you could let me know how the video quality is and how my audio is, if like you can hear me clearly, it'll help me decide in the future if I need to invest in some sort of like a headset that you can hear me better through, or if I need to try to look into a webcam, because I'm just using just my laptop's camera currently. All right, now the last step is I'm just going to take, this is Hurricane Gray, which is a really beautiful medium gray. It doesn't, I would say if anything, it leans towards a cooler undertone, but it's very, very neutral compared to a lot of grays. It doesn't lean towards purple. It doesn't lean towards like a muddy gray. It's just a really neutral gray. So I'm going to blend this up from the bottom into the vintage duck egg. And this is going to begin the darkening of the bottom. My inspiration for this piece was this old picture, or is a picture of a very old door that was weathered and had all of this patina on it and chipping paint of many layers. And so that's what inspired me. And I'm going to try to recreate it, which on the front, I've gotten pretty close. There's still a little bit more work that I have to do, but for the most part, it's pretty close. All right, we'll move into the middle. So you can see it's looking a little bit better, just slightly better than the mess that we started with. Set this down a little bit. I actually have it on these really questionable dolly wheels right now, so I don't want to move it around too much. Or too abruptly, because it can slide right off one of the wheels and take a tumble. So I don't want that to happen. So I still have all of that paint in this brush. And it is going to kind of muddy up my color, but again, this is going to get so many other layers. I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see if I can pull this around just slightly. It's a little bit hard to see because it's so dark in there, but that's what I'm going for. Where it's going to be a lot more darker and contrasting at the bottom versus at the top. Okay, there we go. So right before I came live on here, I was setting everything up, and I have a studio that's on our property, so I'm not like in my house or in my garage. It's just a garden shed basically that I turned into my paint studio, and I put up different staging walls. I have this one behind me, which is a little bit more rustic. And then on the other wall, I have just white shiplap to give me a nice clean white base to photograph my pictures on. But I was out here getting this set up and I heard a smoke detector going off. And it sounded pretty close, and I figured, well, one of the neighbors must be cooking and set off their smoke detector. Like, I mean, it happens. So I didn't think anything of it, and then all of a sudden I hear all these sirens, and it literally sounded like they were pulling into my front drive. I panicked and I ran inside because I just set up all like the Christmas trees and everything like that. You know, it's very early, but I'm not decorating so much for like heavy Christmas decor. Like there's no Santa, no presents, like not stuff like that yet, but I'm getting prepared for winter because I provide photos for different companies, and they're able to use it for their social media. It's a great way to build your name with different brands that you want to work with, to kind of be ahead of the season and provide good quality photos ahead of the next season. And so anyways, I got all that set up, and there's lights everywhere, and they're on currently, and I'm not in there, but I mean, they're all new lights. It's not like they're sketchy old wired lights or anything like that. But anyways, it sounded like it was coming from in my house. And so I panicked and I ran in there because my dogs are in there. And luckily it was not our house. But then they quickly drove away after that. So I'm guessing it was just a false alarm. But definitely gave me a fright for sure. Okay, I'm gonna pull in some of that sea glass again. Perfect. Thank you, Patricia, for letting me know. Thank you so much. I have worked very, very hard on it. Dedicated a lot of time to trying to get everything just cozy and really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of the vintage duck egg, and I'm actually going to pull it up just slightly in here along the bottom. All right. Now, oops, I'm not done with the vintage duck egg. I forgot. I gotta go all the way to the bottom, and then we cover up the bottom portion with Hurricane Gray. Now we're going to pull in that Hurricane Gray. So I typically do all of my videos and tutorials over on Facebook. And I really haven't done much as far as YouTube goes. I've uploaded a few videos here and there, but I usually live stream over on Facebook. So I'm trying something new because I'm not totally satisfied with the quality over on Facebook, and they're just making a lot of changes, and I don't know how I feel about it. So I want a backup or something else to try out in case Facebook goes sideways. And my hope is eventually I can get it figured out to where I can go live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time. That way I'm kind of reaching and inspiring as many people as possible. But that will come in time. I gotta figure out how YouTube works first. All right, so that was just a really basic blending technique, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going for old world style, but I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of my process, and I wanted to kind of test this platform out and see how it works for live streaming. I don't have, I think I have to have 1,000 subscribers before I can go live on my phone, which would be, I'm pretty sure it'll probably be a little bit higher quality as far as the video goes, because the camera on my phone is higher quality than my generic webcam on my laptop. So I'm hoping to get to 1,000 followers someday, or 1,000 subscribers someday. That way the quality will be a little better. But I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to show you guys the front and what it looks like on the front, so that you get an idea of where I'm going with this look. Because this could be beautiful left as is. These colors are very complementing to each other, and they're also, it's not super contrasting. So when you choose colors to blend and you're choosing, like, this is a very mild colored blend. It's not like white going into black, which is very, very contrasting. It becomes more difficult to blend such vastly different colors. And so since these are all very similar in tone and in depth, none of them are extremely dark, none of them are really extremely light, except for the sea glass. That's a little bit lighter that I kind of brushed in there, but it makes it a lot easier when you're just starting out with blending to choose light colors. So let me get that out of the way and twist this around. You can see I still have that side to do. Okay, stay on the wheels. So this is kind of, it's not quite my finished product. I love the way this looks, very old world style, and definitely the right direction that I'm looking for. It just looks like an old weathered door, right? Like an old patina door. We have the weathered gray wood coming up. That's kind of the look that I was going for. But I think I'm going to do some more, and I'm not quite sure what. Probably add some black wax to even darken it and make it even more vibrant looking. So I'll probably do that. And then I've been thinking about possibly adding some sort of a metallic on the handles, or at least in some areas of the handles, but I haven't decided yet because I don't want them to stick out like a sore thumb. And the picture, my inspiration picture, this is basically all the colors that are on the door, and there's not any sort of a metallic or anything like that. So that's why I decided to paint the handles, and then I figured if I want to add something in later, I definitely can. So that's just the direction that I'm going for this, and I'll probably try to hop on here again and show the next step of how I kind of lean into getting it to look this way from that smoother blend that was on the back side. So maybe I'll keep the back side as is and just let it dry, and maybe I'll try tomorrow. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys so much who did tune in. And if you could do me a huge favor, if you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you could subscribe. Tell your friends and family who are also like creative or just like to watch things that are like artsy and craftsy and painting. And let's try to get to 1,000 subscribers so then we can switch over to my phone camera instead of my laptop. But you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, now I got to figure out, oh, there we go. End stream. Yes.